All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Actually, maybe we'll give it another minute or two. We've got some people who are still trickling in here. Hope everyone had a great weekend. It was beautiful here in North Carolina, so I spent most of the time outside. It was wonderful. I am not much of a summer person, so I spend spring and fall outside and I hibernate in the air conditioning in the summer.
I love the heat. I'm waiting for it to really come on solidly, although this has been beautiful. And low bugs. I like there haven't been a lot of bugs yet.
Yes, I'm with you, Kirsten. I like the heat. I'm ready.
I'm in St. Louis, so it doesn't matter. We get all 4 seasons all year round. So yeah, but yesterday I think it was I think it got up to 90 yesterday. I think it's going to be 88 today.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, you did it already.
Yeah, you did. Holy smokes. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it looks like we've got most people here. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, we've got a pretty good showing. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining. I don't know if these calls sneak up on you like they do on me, but it seems like quarterly calls would have a lot of space between them, but for some reason feel like we just had a call and here we are again with another Portal Partners call. So it's great to have you here. We do have a few new people on the line this time. So I'm just gonna have us go through real quick and do introductions. I don't want to use a whole lot of time, but I'll just call on you. And if you could just say your name and what state you're in and how long you've been using the portal, that would be great. So I'll just go ahead and start at the top of my list, not going in any particular order, but it looks like Erin in Minnesota is first on my list.
Oh, I'm not even muted. Wow, this whole time I've been on mute. Sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm like, go to unmute myself and it's like, oh, just kidding. I'm already on mute. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, let me get my camera on too, but I have to move my screens around. I'm clearly not super prepared.
No
problem. Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Erin McHenry-Wolf. I am with the Minnesota Department of Health. As everyone was talking about summer, that's like the one time it's like wonderful in Minnesota. So I am excited. We hit like 70 degrees this weekend. And so that was like a huge, exciting thing. But if anybody is familiar with the Boundary Waters canoe area, it's a park in Minnesota, northern Minnesota, like for camping and things like that. You can no motorized boats or anything like that. I'm supposed to be going up there in 2 weeks, and the lake that we are supposed to enter in on is still fully covered in ice. So
oh my gosh.
Definitely no swimming for that camping trip.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm Erin. Hi, I'm with Minnesota Department of Health.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my dad grew up, he was a big paddler, and so he used to paddle the Boundary Waters every summer. I hear lots of stories about it. So how wonderful it is. Okay, how about Caitlin in New York?
Hi, everyone. This is Caitlin Gurney. I'm the New York State Department of Health Arthritis Program Intervention Coordinator, and we've been using the portal since early 2021, I believe.
Great. And Carita.
Good morning. My name is Carita Douglas. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm with Thomas Business Enterprises. We're a community-based organization. And I have been using the portal since April 1st. So I am a newbie.
Yep,
Thank you.
great to have you here. Okay, how about Georgie in Minnesota too?
Hello, my name is Georgie Kinsman, and I am an evaluator with the Minnesota Department of Health Arthritis team. And I know our department has been using the portal since 2021, but both Erin and I are fairly new to our positions, so we just started in this past year.
Yeah, great, awesome. Thanks, Georgie. Jasmine.
Hi everyone, Jasmine Franco from the Rhode Island Department of Health. We have been using the portal for Walk With Ease since 2020, I think fall of 2020.
Yeah, you were one of our really early adopters. Thank you for doing that. You are blazing the trail. Okay, how about Margaret in Washington?
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Margaret Chaikin, pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm with the Washington State Department of Health. I believe we've been using the portal since late 2020. And I know I started using it just recently, toward the end of last year. So I'm fairly new to the portal, but I don't believe Washington State is. I think we have a couple of years under our belt.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Margaret. Mona, Virginia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mona Burwell. I'm with Virginia Department of Health, and we had purchased the portal in 2021, but we surely have been using it now at the end of 2022 to 2023.
Great. All right. How about Shanetta? Arkansas.
Hello. Yes, I had to change my background. Yes, good morning. Well, good morning to some, maybe afternoon to others. I was looking at our paperwork. We purchased the online portal spring of 2021, and we didn't really start utilizing it until that fall. So, yeah, I'll share some other updates later on.
Okay, great. Thanks. Nadia.
Hey everyone, Nadia Maza from the North Carolina Center for Health and Wellness. I think we've been using the portal since 2020, maybe even before with the original version.
Yeah, you started with the original. You and Jasmine, definitely. Yeah. Okay, Shay in New York.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shay Kelly. I'm the New York State Department of Health Arthritis Program Manager. I work with Caitlin, and as she mentioned, New York's been using it since early 2021, but I've been in my position since this past summer, so that's when I started using it.
Great. And Adam, New Hampshire.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Adam from New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services. I'm the Arthritis Program Manager, and I don't know exactly which year we started using the portal. I think it might have been
2021,
19 or 2020.
Yeah, I think it was. It was pretty early.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Let's see. I'm looking. I think we've got all of the partners. Let's go to Julie on the OA Action Alliance team.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Serena, for introducing me. I'm from the OA Action Alliance, and I've been working here since 2021, October, so a little over a year and a half, and been working just helping to support Serena with the portal and with Walk With Ease, and doing a handful of things otherwise at the OA Action Alliance. And that's me.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining the call today. I'm on the OA Action Alliance team and working with a lot of you on the contracting and invoicing side. And I'm greatly appreciative to all of you who have been working with us a little extra in the last few weeks to try to straighten things out. It's been a fun ride to grow this portal, but it ends up being a lot of moving parts and pieces, and we're trying to improve our accounting practices and keep up with the growing number of users that we're super excited about. So I appreciate all of you for your patience, those of you who we have had quite a few contacts with recently, to make sure we're all on the same page. So thank you for that. And thanks to everybody else for participating. It's really been a joy to watch this grow and to be able to expand our reach through all of you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Did I miss? Oh, Ellen joined. Ellen, you want to say hey?
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm with the statewide Walk with Ease program in Oregon, and thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Okay, well, before we dive into the agenda, I'm gonna switch my share really quick. I wanted to share, we recently had a meeting with the Arthritis Foundation, and just kind of pulled some stats together for them. And I just wanted to briefly share this with you all, just so you can have a snapshot of how things are going with the portal right now. This was a report that was run a couple weeks ago. We had a total of over 9,000 people who have been registered through the portal. This is portal 2.0. So those of you who joined us when it was portal 1.0, this number is even larger. It's over 10,000. Right now, we've got about 15 of our wonderful partners using the portal. And so we've got kind of just here, I wanted to share with the Arthritis Foundation because they're really interested in, what we're doing to promote their program. Walk with Ease is their program, how the portal is working, what the reach is like, what the possibilities are for expansion and that kind of thing. So you'll see kind of some of our top performing states are ones that have really been utilizing the portal to reach out to state employees, oftentimes health plans, etc. So you can see that some of those bigger reaches are reflected because of that kind of connection with employees. And then
the meeting with it was
you can see here the map. It's so exciting to see that we have reached almost every state in the US, including Hawaii and Alaska. We've just got to figure out who we can get from Mississippi on board because they need to join in. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you because I thought it gave us a good snapshot of kind of how far we've come in just a very, very short time. Lots of room for growth, obviously, and we're hoping that we have some new partners coming on board in the fall, and maybe the Arthritis Foundation will partner with us on some new projects going forward. So wanted to share that with you. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to click back to my agenda real quick. All right. So, a second. There we go. So we usually start these calls with kind of updates and announcements from the OA Action Alliance. And I usually do some sort of demo of the new features that have released. Honestly, we've just had a couple of things that we've been working on behind the scenes over the past several months. Some of you may know that we have grown the portal over the past couple of years, 3 years plus, and have added on features as we have grown it and enhanced it. And we were getting calls from other potential partners who are interested in using the portal. And some of them were very interested in learning more about the accessibility of the portal. And obviously the portal was initially built to be accessible, to work with screen readers, to have the correct font sizes, etc. But as we have kind of added on new features, we just wanted to kind of do a deep dive and make sure that it was still aligning with that accessibility and the needs of the communities that we reach. And so our developer, Sarah, who is at the University of North Dakota, really did a deep dive on the accessibility of the portal and created what's known as a VPAT report. And this really is something that if your organization needs for any reason, we can now provide you with this report that basically shares how the features are built in the portal, what the accessibility is of them, how it works with different types of screen readers, etc. And so that was actually a really time-consuming process, and it took her quite a bit of time away from the text messaging and the notification system that she was working on. And so she's kind of diving back into that system right now. So I don't have any updates for you on the timing of the notifications enhancements. I'm still hopeful that it will be available this summer, but I just am not sure right now. Any questions about that? Okay. Kirsten, did you have anything else you wanted to add about that? I mean, I don't.
No, I think you covered it. Yeah, that really has come up from a couple of different partners that have asked that question. So if you have that question, like Serena said, we're happy to share, but.
Yeah. It is something that universities in particular and government entities like many of you are very concerned about making sure that they're any kind of resource that they invest in, like the portal, is accessible. So we felt like it was important to get that report in place. So then the other thing is the customization of a release waiver of the release waiver acknowledgement text. So this was something, the acknowledgement or the waiver was something that we rolled out last fall. But we had originally had just kind of standard language that basically said, I accept this release waiver language. And that was didn't jive with what everyone needed that language to be. Like, do you want to acknowledge you've read it? Do you want to accept the waiver? Do you want to, I agree to sign the waiver? There were so many different variations of text that could go along with that release waiver. So we decided to make that text customizable. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and reshare again so that I can show you. This is something that is currently being rolled out. It should be rolled out later this afternoon. So I am going to demonstrate it on the beta site, the test site. So don't try and recreate this in your account right now because you won't see it there. But I'm going to go ahead and log into our OA Action Alliance portal, essentially on this test staging site. So this feature is going to live under step 1 of your partner settings. So if you click on step 1 and scroll down, you'll see the release waiver option right here. Release waiver is still optional. You do not have to upload a waiver if you don't want to, but if you do, you can now customize the text right here. So the default text is, I agree to sign the release waiver. You can make this say whatever you want, because it might be more of an informative document than it is a release document. So you might just want to say, you know, I acknowledge I have read the release waiver, or I acknowledge I have read the waiver, whatever you want to call it. So that is right here, step one. This is just kind of a pop-up explaining, you know, what they will need to acknowledge. From a participant perspective, this shows up on step one of the registration process. It'll be on the right-hand side of the screen, and it won't let the participants move to step two until they have acknowledged it, until they have clicked the check box. So, and if they try and go to step two and they don't check that box, it'll highlight it in red that they need to acknowledge that they have read that waiver, or they need to be able to check that box. So, questions about this feature, about the customization? Kirsten, yes.
This just occurred to me and I was about to type it into the chat. So I also noticed that the Spanish waiver text is over there. Will participants need to provide their own translation into Spanish? I don't believe that happens automatically.
Correct, yes. You will need to put, if you only have a waiver for English, then just upload your English waiver. And if you are also offering the CCG but don't have a waiver, that's okay. But if you do have a waiver, you'll need to upload that document in Spanish and then provide the waiver text in Spanish. It does not, as Kirsten said, if you put the English in over here, it's not going to automatically translate it. Good question. Erin?
Yeah, just to clarify, the document that you're uploading with your waiver, will that be like a download then? Does it auto populate like into a pop-up waiver, like, or is it and then in terms of waiver text, that's not the same as the release waiver, that's just like what people are agreeing to? Does that make sense?
So it does pop up, the first part of your question, it does pop up into a new window that they can then download if they want to download, or they just can read it, close it, check the box that they have read it.
Got it. Okay, that answers my second question then too.
Okay. and that document, you know, can be used in a variety of ways. If you have held an in-person Walk With Ease program, you know that part of the leader manual is to have, they have example release waivers that you can hand out to people. And then some health departments and other community-based organizations just have a requirement to have a release waiver for their, you know, their liability insurance or whatnot. And so it could be, you know, I know in Minnesota, you might be using it for the Tennyson warning. So it could be a number of different things.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions on this part?
Hi, Serena. This is Margaret in Washington. I'm noticing that Washington State doesn't have any release waiver on file. Is that something that we should have on file? Because I'm also noticing that because likely we don't have anything on file, we're not seeing that text on the.
Right, they won't see it. The participants won't see anything on their side if you don't have anything uploaded.
Okay.
And so it's really up to you and your policies.
Understood.
The OA Action Alliance don't have a release waiver in place.
Okay, so there's not a default waiver in place at all. Cool. Thank you so much for clarifying for me.
Yep. Yeah, so the default is basically no waiver. It will only pop up for your participants if you upload a file. So I'm gonna check the chat here. Any other questions about this? So before I switch back over to the agenda, I thought while I have this up and I'm showing the site, I wanted to give an opportunity for all of you to ask any questions about any part of either the admin site or the participant view site. Because I know that we go through a lot on these calls, I demo a lot, but you might just need a refresher on how things work. So I thought I'd just pause here. Let me know, do you have questions about reports or, the questions you are setting up groups? I know that that can be a really challenging piece for some people, so I'll click over there real quick just to if any of you are thinking about it, feel free to just use the raise your hand so that you pop up kind of early on in my, okay. Shanetta has a question. Shanetta, go ahead.
Yes, and I'm trying to start my camera again. I just should leave it on. I did have a question in regard to the portal. If a participant finishes and they get to that 6th week, they will have to go back in to complete the evaluation questions, right? Okay. I'm just thinking about that. I think that's been an issue here in Arkansas with the very few numbers we have, but hopefully that's going to change. I think I'm just thinking out loud of ways to make sure a person who uses a self-directed format understands we need you to complete the evaluation piece for our data. Because we partner with a program, they incorporated the Walk with Ease self-directed into their program, but it's hard for them to track like who finishes or completes it. Does that make sense? Like it's called it's Arkansas Minority Health Commission, but they have a program called Southern Ain't Fried Sundays. So it's nutritional eating and all of that. And so they may have somebody register for the SAFs and then ask, do you want to be a part of Walk with Ease? And they may say yes, and they give them the information and they may finish, but then it's like, how do we know that they completed the evaluation piece?
Yeah, and that's honestly challenging for all of us to get that evaluation. So we build into the email reminders, the weekly email reminders, we start reminding them to do their evaluation, I think in week 5, and then week 6, we say, congratulations, you finished. It's very important for you to go in and, select or finish your evaluation. And then we send them another one in week 7, say, please don't forget to complete the evaluation. I'm hopeful that when we have the new notification system in place and we can text people reminders, that will help. I also would suggest that you send an email because there's always the chance that our emails from our system are going into junk mail. And although we have a really good delivery and open rate for this type of mailing for all of you, it's still, people might pay attention to your emails different than they pay attention to ours. So if you want to do that and you're not familiar, if you go to your users tab so up at the top, go to users. And then you can click on the 3 dots on the top of any of these headings. And you can go over here and make sure that you have email selected. And you can select by different groups too. And then you can also sort by whether they've completed their evaluation or not. Okay. So, you know, that way you can see, okay, all these people have completed their evaluation. So they've gone in, and then you can just select those who have not completed their evaluation. Okay. You can export that list to Excel, and then you can reach out to all these people and say, you know, please, I'm begging you, complete the evaluation. Because then they'll pop up as having.
I will. Yes, I need to add, just being more consistent with checking the portal on my end to help, you know, push things, if that makes sense. Because we have a lot of moving parts, but I do feel like the portal has been a little bit neglected. So I'm going to show the portal some love. This would be the time to start for Arthritis Month.
Well, and honestly, like any type of resource like this, the more time you spend in it, the easier it is to navigate it, to find the information you want, to, you know, utilize it essentially. I know like Caitlin spends a lot of time, you know, in it, messing around with it. She knows like if she does this, this will happen. And so I think that has really helped them utilize it well.
Okay. So, Caitlin, if I bug you, don't be alarmed. Okay, well, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Good question, Shanetta. Absolutely. Something we're all struggling with. And if anyone finds the silver bullet to this, you know, if you've got a solution that seems to work, let us all know, because getting those evaluations in is tough. It's tough. Other questions? Jasmine, yes.
So it was kind of question, kind of feedback, but now that we just rolled out the Spanish portal, we're having kind of a hard time when we share the links, because they're unique links, but once we use one of the links, it switches the language back and forth. So even if we're using the English link, it's always shows in Spanish. Our workaround has been using like an incognito or private window, but I don't know if there's anything coming down the pike, because I don't know if all of our partners will know to do that, and that are doing both the English and Spanish program. So it's just something that we've been kind of struggling with a little bit.
Yeah. And Nadia feels your pain too, for sure. Because she's emailed me a couple of times about that. And it is, so it's not necessarily a problem with the URLs or with the sites. It's honestly just a feature that's built into all the browsers we use to, you know, kind of, you know, it's meant to make our lives easier to remember where we were and what we did. But you don't want to have to go in and clear your cache every time, right? And reset everything. The easiest thing you can do is just always go back to startwalkwiththese.org and click the in English or click in Spanish and go from there, instead of going directly from your, so the people you are marketing to will have the correct link, and they'll go to the Spanish or they'll go to the English. But for you and your partners, just start at startwalkwiththese.org.
And would they be able to still find Rido, like Department of Health, from the Rhode Island Department of Health? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here, I'll log out real quick. And I'm going to get off the staging site real quick and go. So just come to the landing page, the main landing page, and you'll click en Espanol and it'll switch over to Spanish. So there's your Rhode Island. It'll get you to your Rhode Island in Spanish. Okay. And then when you've got to get back to English, you know, and this is just something that you and your admins need to do. You come back to the landing page and you click in English. And it'll switch everything back over.
That's easy enough.
I know it's not ideal, and I've had conversations with Sarah about it, but it's like, I don't know, unless we can figure out how to fix.
I think it's hard because we're having some sites now who are offering both. Even employers who have Spanish speaking employees that do speak English but are more comfortable in Spanish, they're promoting both. So that's more where we're getting stuck. But that's a good tip, at least for me and Jenna, who's the intern, because I think it's been driving her a little crazy. So this is helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit wonky. And I think, I mean, the most important thing is for the end user, it should not be a problem. For those of us trying to manage it from an administrative end, it can be a little bit of a challenge. But as soon as you get used to just going to that and clicking English or Spanish, it kind of gets your browser into the right language. Yeah.
Thank you.
I get that. Totally. Good question. And I'll keep working with Sarah to see if there's any sort of workarounds for it. The last time I talked to her, it was, it's just a, because we have one site, one admin site that does both languages, and that's what makes it a little bit funky. Any other questions? Let me check the chat here. Do other portal partners have successful strategies for getting people to return? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Kirsten just put a comment in the chat about getting those evaluations completed. Does anyone have any tips for that?
One thing that it hasn't been super successful, but one thing I've been trying is I'm lucky enough to have an intern on board. And so she'll go through the user report and try to follow up with folks and say, hey, this is a reminder. If you don't have the staff time to do it, I would not drive yourself crazy to do it, because it's not like we're getting tons in, but it's something I've been at least trying, because we're not getting a lot in either. We're not getting a return on those.
Yeah.
This is Erin again.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? This is maybe a silly question. Is there a way to send a message within the portal, or is it just downloading the emails and reaching out directly? Okay.
Right now, it's just downloading. That's part of the whole notification system that's going to be built in. So for that system, there will be kind of standard templates of weekly emails built into it, weekly emails and weekly text messages. You will have the opportunity to recreate your own emails so that you can send your own. I mean, we already offer the ability to customize the emails, but that will allow you like real-time customization options so that you can edit the emails and have them go out, and you can select different emails for different groups, which is something that we don't have right now. Right now, it's kind of whatever group or whatever email you have set up goes to all of your groups. So if you have certain messages you want to send to different groups, you'll be able to do that. You'll also be able to send messages within the community, Erin, like you were just mentioning, so you can hop in and you'll be able to sort by everyone who hasn't, completed their evaluation, and you'll be able to send a message to those people. There's also going to be, like I mentioned, there's going to be the text messaging feature, but there's also going to be two-way text messaging. So if a text is sent out to everyone that says, did you walk this week? And they respond back, yes, like it'll be, respond 1 for yes or 2 for no. So if they respond yes, then they'll get another text message that says, how many minutes did you walk? And when they respond with that, it will automatically populate the data, your data in the portal, so that they won't have to log in to track their minutes and track their days of walking. It'll be done via this two-way texting feature. Yeah, Carita.
Oh, thank you. I think that's going to be really helpful. Will the text feature be available for all platforms? Because currently I'm using the enhanced, self-directed enhanced. So will it be for the all three? Okay, great.
It's everyone. Yep, every both Spanish and English, and all of your enhanced groups or whomever you choose to send those emails to.
Thank you.
Any other questions around functionality while I'm sharing my screen? Or do you all want to see kind of how things are looking from a participant view? I'll just do another quick demo of what the participant looks like. Because I think it's always good to just kind of be reminded of that. And I encourage you all, if you don't have the option of declining a book enabled for your portal participants, you might want to just like add that real quick, register yourself as a participant, take that option away so you're not, drawing down on your book inventory, but so that you have a site that you can log into as a participant. Like if you're doing any demonstrations to community partners, or if a participant calls you and says, I'm not sure where to get to my book, you'll be able to log in and get to see kind of what they're seeing so that you can more easily guide them. We have a lot of screenshots, participant view screenshots in the portal partner directions, but I still think that if you can have your own login so that you can kind of be reminded of what it looks like, I think that would be really helpful. So just a reminder that this is what the participants see. We are, one of the next things after the notification system is set up is going to be making the stretching and strengthening logging optional. So if you don't want that to show up for your participants, it won't show up. Because the goal of the program really is to have people walk more minutes on more days of the week. So the stretching and strengthening, although it's part of the 5-step walking pattern, is not the primary goal of the program. So we know that some of you don't want that there to kind of confuse your participants. Is there anything any of you want to see from this perspective? I always forget to check the channel. All right, I'm going to go ahead. There's some questions in the chat about special promotions coming up. Oh, and thank you to Renee, who says that they in Iowa, they use navigators to make the phone calls to complete the survey by phone. So if you have volunteers who are able to do that, the data won't be in the portal necessarily, but you could still have that evaluation data. You can download the data from the portal and combine it with any data that you get from calling people, and have a more full picture if you wanted to try that. Okay, So I'm gonna stop sharing that and I'm gonna click back over and share the agenda. I'm sure that there is a more streamlined way of doing this, and I wish I knew how, but please, if you have an idea of how to share more streamlined, that would be great. Okay, so I see in the chat that Shanetta asked if states are doing any special promotions for the portal in the month of May. And it looks like a couple of you are. So if I could just call on Caitlin to talk a little bit first about the media campaign that you guys are doing.
Sure. So we did a media campaign previously in 2021, I believe it was. So we're kind of rerunning any of the top performing ads and media copies. So basically seeing what worked the best and focusing on reusing those. And the media campaign will be a little less than a month, I believe, long. And it will direct people to sign up for the portal in a select few counties and a couple target demographics, but that's broad strokes what we're planning on.
What forms of media are you doing? Social media, radio, newspaper?
Social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. And Nadia, how about you? Looks like you're doing something too.
Yeah, really similarly to Caitlin, we ran a Facebook ad last year in May, kind of just as an introduction to spring. We had tried one focusing on Arthritis Month awareness last year, and it didn't perform as well in terms of number of people enrolling in the portal as a result of that ad. So we focused on just doing this longer spring campaign this year, and yeah, we're starting to get folks enrolled in the portal, and I think we're going to run it through the end of May.
Great. Yeah. This is prime walking time for sure. For a lot of places anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're emphasizing in our copy.
And it looks like Erin, you guys in Minnesota did one in May. And it was really successful. Do you have anything else you want to share?
Yeah, we did one last year that went really well. If you saw that our reach numbers were like the second highest, a lot of that is from the campaign. It was, I believe it was social media advertising and maybe also paid search. We are looking to do one again, maybe this month or next month before grant closeout. And our thinking was to target people that we got through the first campaign who signed up, but did not actually complete, because we found that with our last campaign, we had a lot of people that like signed up and then they never logged minutes, or they did it like one time. So we kind of thought that might be interesting to try to retarget them. But as you mentioned with our Tennyson warning, has to do with having certain data. And so because of basically, we're not sure if we can actually use those email addresses. So we'll see what we do. But that was one thing we were thinking about too.
Yeah, right. And that might be something to think about for future, release waivers is, if you aren't sure that you can contact people in the future, you could even add that into your release waiver. I agree to be contacted, something like that.
Yeah. So we're kind of seeing what we can do, but
yeah.
But I will say when we did it last year, it was really, we were really surprised by how big of a impact it had. So, and not just on that too, also like our website, like our department website had a bunch of hits to like a page related to this. You see a huge spike. So.
Right. Was there, do you have examples of particular messaging or images or anything that you could share with us that
Yeah, I can. This was before I was in this position, so I don't know off the top of my head, but I can certainly find it and would be happy to share it.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I mean, we know that not all messaging works in all places, but if we can, springboard off of something that worked well for you, it might work well.
Absolutely. Well, and marketing is always expensive. So if you have a nice material, like, let's use it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. Thank you all for sharing. Any other, spring or summer plans for Walk with Ease in the portal, or something that you just did that worked really well that people want to share?
I don't know if it's exciting, but I'm getting out the office Friday to do a site visit with one of our partners in Northwest Arkansas, and they do self-directed enhance. I'm also taking them some of our revised prescription pads. The exercise medicine, it does have a QR code for the portal. So hopefully by going up there, meeting some of those people, it'll get us some increase in numbers.
Great. Yeah. We were really blown away by the response to in-person recruiting for the Camino con Gusto portal for the Spanish. I mean, just having someone there and, just like putting a face with a resource like the portal, it was amazing for that population. So that'll be interesting. Let us know how that goes for sure.
I will.
I thought I saw Margaret raise her hand for a second. Did you have something to share?
Oh, yes. So I know right now Washington State has taken some information from Yakima Health District, which is a central part of Washington, and we're hoping to develop a campaign that's running alongside the launch of our Camino con Gusto portal. So Yakima Health District is about 83% Latinx, and so we've reached out to media that they have historically used, have had much success with, and this looks like radio, broadcasting, driving toward that Camino con Gusto portal. And again, we're also looking at reducing the URL because we're realizing even just rolling off that URL, it's so incredibly long that there's so much room for error.
Yeah.
So we're dialed in with our communications team at Department of Health to see what we can do to make it just feel a little bit more accessible and likely to reach.
Yeah.
I'm happy to share as that develops what successes we have, but again, that's just in development. So stay tuned.
Yep. Absolutely. That's great. And we had talked about, we have startwalkwithese.org for, that was kind of the vanity URL that we purchased for the English portal. And we had talked about having a vanity URL for the Camino con Gusto portal. We haven't done that yet. I don't think. Is Kirsten still on? I don't think we have done that for Camino con Gusto, have we?
No, not for the portal. We've only done it for the Spanish language pages on our site.
Pages,
but it's something to think about.
Yeah, so that's something that we can take back, because I agree that URL for Camino con Gusto is definitely can be challenging. Like Shanetta said, maybe doing a QR code can help in some instances. And of course, linking from social media is pretty easy. It doesn't really matter what the URL is, but if you're going to have it on a flyer or something, or any print materials where they're going to have to then type it in, can definitely be challenging. Okay, we are getting to the top of our hour. I just want to make sure to do another call for any questions, hot news. Okay, well, you all have been wonderful as always. I am really, really hoping that this notification system is going to be the big item for our next call in August. Fingers crossed that Sarah can get all the different variables within that worked out. It might be that she's able to launch part of it and then add some of the other parts, like maybe launch the email notification piece and then launch the two direction text messaging after that. But we're just going to kind of keep working with her on that. The next call I'm moving the time to 1:30, just for personal scheduling reasons. I hope that works okay with everyone. I already sent out a hold with the call-in information this morning. So if you didn't get that, let me know. And feel free to forward it to other people on your team. And then as always, please just email me. Let me know if you ever need to hop on a call or anything, walk through anything. If you have any wish list items that you want to add, we are always have open ears, and we're always searching for more funding to continue to enhance the portal for all of you. So with that, I think I'll say have a wonderful start to your all summer, and we'll look forward to talking to you in August.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.